So as we've learned, Illustrator's vector graphics are really made up of a whole bunch of anchor points. And we know that those anchor points can be one of several different types, for example, corner anchor points or smooth anchor points or combination anchor points. However, we also know that the number of anchor points that you have is directly related to the complexity of your file. So the more anchor points that you have for a piece of artwork, the longer it takes to print, the larger your file size gets, and of course, the more difficult or unwieldy it is to edit that particular file. Let's take these two pieces of artwork for example. I have this file called Simplifying Paths open inside of Illustrator, and if you have the sample files or the exercise files available to you, you can go ahead and find that in Chapter 5. I'm going to use my regular selection tool to just click on, let's say, this emblem right here. Take a look at the number of anchor points that there are. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. I'm going to use the Command and Spacebar or Control Spacebar keys to get my zoom tool, and I'll marquee select around this particular emblem, so I want to zoom in on that. And you can see how many anchor points there are. In fact, if I get just a little bit closer, let's say on the claw, take a look at how many anchor points there are. Lots and lots of anchor points. And not only does that make it difficult to edit, it will make this file take a lot longer to print as well. Let me zoom out just a bit over here. And let's take a look at a feature inside of Illustrator called Simplify. Simplify basically allows me to analyze a path and reduce the number of points on a path, because in reality, the number of anchor points on a path don't necessarily make that into a better path, meaning a better looking path. If you're smart about where you place your anchor points, you can get the same piece of artwork with far fewer anchor points. So let's take a look at how that's done. By the way, this Simplify feature that I'm about to show you makes a lot of sense when you're getting artwork from outside sources. It's rare that you're actually going to go ahead and use the pen tool to create artwork with this many anchor points. But when you do things like tracing or get artwork that maybe have come from another source, from another application, it is possible that it has lots of anchor points, and your job is going to be to basically reduce those anchor points down to a manageable amount, but without sacrificing any quality in the image itself. So I'm going to go now with this particular piece of artwork selected. I'm going to go over to the Object menu. I'm going to choose Path, and then I'm going to choose Simplify. And that's going to bring up a dialog box. The Simplify dialog box is going to give me options on how I want to go ahead and simplify that path, and here's basically the key. I want to be able to reduce the number of anchor points, but I don't want to give up the quality or the actual definition of the artwork that I've created. So the first thing I'll do is I'll click on the Preview button. The Preview button will give me basically an idea of what's happening to my artwork as the number of points are reduced. So as we can see right now, I do get a very interesting stylized kind of look, and maybe this would even be a nice effect that I'd be looking for. Although right now my goal would be to simplify the number of anchor points without adjusting the overall appearance of that particular piece of artwork. So I'm going to go ahead here, and by the curve precision, I'm going to start to bring that up much higher. And that means that I want Illustrator to keep the curves and the look of that graphic as close to the original as possible. By the way, just to show you, if I kind of bring that slider far down to the left, I get a very, very stylized looking piece, but that also means that Illustrator doesn't have to follow the actual paths that were in the original piece of artwork. Just to give you an idea though, take a look at the values. Illustrator is very nice. It gives you some feedback here. The original piece of artwork had 3,784 anchor points inside of it. And now that I've applied the Simplify command and I had this curve precision set to 5%, it reduced that down to 362 points. Wow. So it's great that it can do that, but as